All right, Tommy. What are we calling this? Stubbygate?
Stubbygate, yeah.
We've been working with David for a while on this to figure this thing out and figure out how we can modify these ego blowers and do it. There's lots of 3D print examples that are out now because it just makes logical sense to cut the normal tube to make it more accessible to dry your car. And cutting the tube, obviously something you could do. And then some guys are cutting it and then epoxying it, plastic welding it together and doing some stuff. And so David got the idea to, actually make a production version. So this was the first 3D printed version that I've been using. So he had one and I had one. And this thing is actually, I've used this for like a year and a half or so. It's like on its last leg, like the spring here, it's like holding on for dear life.
3D printed is really brittle, so it's not very durable.
Yeah, right. And so I don't know how the 3D printed versions that are on Etsy and some other places, but so maybe they're probably a little more dense than this was. But this was the prototype to help figure out. And then you want to explain why they made a double tip. This is so that they can do other accessories in the future, right?
They're wanting to do potentially like a fan and maybe gutters and stuff like that.
Because a lot of people had a question like, why in the world why wouldn't you just make it one piece?
Correct. Yeah.
And I think David came up with the idea is that they want to have various types of tools, maybe a more dense, a tighter crevice type tool, but keeping the options open for the future. And so this is the main component. And then this thing, like I said, this prototype here, when I have it on one of my machines, it's like barely hanging on. It doesn't click, but yet has never come off. So it doesn't take a lot for these to stay on the egos. So then I got my. This was the first run of the first tester run of the version of what our production would look like, and these do pop off by pulling on. So one of the things we talked about doing was maybe making a stronger spring here. But I would highly suggest you not try to pick up.
Don't pick up the blower by the tube.
There's
a handle.
Why would you pick it up by the tube? And someone was saying they picked it up and dropped their ego. I'm like, well, why would you do that? I would never pick it up by this tube. So this was my first production, and on my 530, it's kind of broken in a bit, but it doesn't click.
There's no click. It's locked in. It's not going anywhere.
Right. So there's no play, but it doesn't click like I think like you're not sure that it's engaged, so I'd always tug on it. And I've done it a couple of times where I didn't engage it, and I feel like it's kind of loosened up as I've taken it on and off. But the first few times I put it on, it was a little too tight. So I think they made a design change. The other thing we've learned is that not all these are the same. There's slightly different diameter difference on the various generations and when they came out with it, and what materials they had. And so now everybody out there has different egos.
Correct.
And so we bought and tried a bunch of them, and David's done most of this testing. And so we got all excited, and we got our 1,000 tubes, and let's get them out right now. And we didn't even test it.
No, we did. Yeah, I took them out of the box and put it on, but they were all consistent.
Yeah.
And I thought it was fine because it's not going anywhere. I put it on, tested around.
So on the Facebook group, people were panicking, and then that it moves.
Yeah.
But the difference is there's an audible click, so it clicks in place. This does come off by pulling on it, but again, same thing with the prototype. I've never had this thing come off. Yeah. So the thing to remember is that this is like production number one. This is like what if you buy a car? What if you buy a computer?
There's always little things.
Yeah, it's and so one of the things we've come up with was an idea to modify, put a little bit of tape on the face of it. So this one, notice, audibly clicks. Yeah. Now we have perfect. Yeah, there's still some play. Do these have any play?
Well, I think the play you're experiencing is like the housing of the black versus. So this shakes in itself.
Oh yeah.
So that's probably.
But this doesn't really fit. This
it doesn't fit quite well.
This is the stock tube, so it doesn't fit on the older version.
Yeah, I think the 530 has the largest.
Diameter. Yeah. So this is I don't even know which tube this is for, but it's for one of them. So this is the stock one, and I know that we wanted it.
That one doesn't even fit that good either.
Yeah.
So that's probably meant for the 580 or 650.
I feel like O.J. Simpson, like I'm faking the glove that doesn't fit here. And that really doesn't fit extremely well. Now this is the one off of your 765.
Yep.
So the 765 has been modified. So Ego has modified their thing to make it so that the tube fits more realistically.
So, like, because all of these are very slightly different, you've got to expect a little bit of play between models, because, I mean, they're making this thing to fit every single...
Right. So I think we'll probably in future production runs, which one is this? Okay, this in future production runs, one of the things we talked about was maybe stiffening the spring up here.
Yep.
Again, this isn't coming off. If it is, you didn't engage it as well as...
Yeah, the only reason it would come off potentially is if you are picking it up by...
Yeah, or you just didn't, you kind of didn't lock it in place, but it's kind of hard to mess that up. So, a couple of tips would be don't pick it up, by this, and it probably wouldn't be smart to even pick it up by this piece. The 530 is going to be the weirdest fit. And then, let me modify this one and let's put some tape on. I want to see if electrical tape works. So we have this Tessa tape, which is for like car audio installs. So let me just put it on the 580 here, or which one is that?
That's the 580, yeah. And so maybe just do a quick before and after if you're wanting to do this.
Yeah.
So before, like again, if you leave it like this, it's not going anywhere. Like it's locked on, the base is not coming off.
Yeah.
So there's just a little bit of play, which people are complaining about. So the tape, if you want to do it, and solves that.
Yeah. I just find it funny, like, this is like number one.
Yeah.
I don't understand, like, I guess because it took a while to produce it, like, people, equate that to should be perfection. I mean, I'm really pleased that people think highly enough of us that they expect perfection, but shoot. I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, well, we'll send this thing out and we'll see how it goes. Kind of like we did with the press saws and some of the other stuff. But, is this going to get me in trouble using $600, $700 scissors?
No,
Ego Stubbies are getting me rich. That was one of the rubs that people have. Oh shoot, I'd cut it short.
it should be fine.
We'll do a little better modification when I'm not on camera. And so now, oh shoot, I can already tell. Oh yeah, legit. Problem solved, Tom. Oh no. Or that's the wiggle of
I think that's the wiggle of the... I mean, you can tell the difference.
How can you believe that?
Yeah, you paid $300 for that.
How dare they?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness, Tommy. I can't believe it.
Oh, man.
So I get it, though. People were like, hey, questioning, like, is this thing going to fly off?
No, it's not going.
Right, and the latch mechanism is pretty stout, yeah. And, it's cool. I love, when you send things out in the wild, we get lots and lots of feedback.
Exactly.
And including the, feedback that say we're, the worst people in the world, which is a $60 thing that I'm just happy that it's, David's still eating hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, I'm glad he didn't make it like $150. That's what I would have done, to get all my money back, that he invested in the thing.
Yeah. And
so
the fit and finish is incredible. It looks basically like it would come with the machine.
Yeah.
Like this is so much more durable than your 3D printed.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I would want. I mean, and all you got to do is put a little tape on there, and problem solved.
Yeah.
And then hopefully we'll be able to get it to where I just don't know that we'll be able to get it perfect because we need the extra tolerance for the the older and different various versions. See, this one has a lot less play in it. I
think it's just I'm sure David will, have revisions and stuff, but it's the gasket that's inside here. That's probably what needs to be played with. So.
Yeah.
And now with the tape, it's a little more difficult to get off. But yeah, it's just the gasket inside here that needs to be adjusted probably.
Yeah, and so my argument also would be you shouldn't really be messing with this thing. Just put it on there and then like this prototype, even the 3D printed I had on there for like a year and a half. Just don't touch it. So let's do a quick little test while we're on camera here of the loudness difference. Let me get my SPL meter. You're gonna expect this. Imagine you took the exhaust on your car and you chopped it like 80% of it off. So you chopped this much, so half of it, I guess. So you took your exhaust and chopped it in half. Okay? So there's the original tube.
Kind of, maybe.
Yeah. So to me, that's too tight. Oh, crap.
The battery?
Do we have a D battery anywhere? Probably not, or a 9-volt. So I just want to see if electrical tape will work, because people will have that more than, I mean, no one has Tessa tape laying around.
Yeah.
Here's all the richness I'm getting off of selling $60 stubbies. Again. So.
The air bubble. There you go.
Uh-oh, too much.
I think I'm gonna try one wrap to see.
Put a little drying aid on there.
Yeah, there you go.
We're modifying the modification.
I have to rip this off again. No, one worked, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
So most people will have, electrical tape, so.
Yeah, at least to hold you over until you get some Tessa tape from
Exactly.
Amazon or something like that.
Yeah, the felt tape I would say is still the better solution. But
Got it.
if you're in a pinch and you can't stand the wiggle, you can put that in.
All right, so I'm gonna hold this at my head, right here. We'll level up. That's 84 dB. Now, my argument is that the 650 is annoying as crap.
So do you want to do Stubby right after?
Yeah, let's just do that. How dare ego do this to me? Okay. No modification. I have it on my belt, just sitting on my hip. Yeah, it's 91 dB. So what was it before?
84.
Yeah, so that's 2 times louder. Every 3 dB would be double loud. So I mean, that's what I'd expect.
Yeah.
You should be wearing ear protection with these things. I've been saying it forever, and I'm not a big protection kind of guy, I'm gonna just do a squint method.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you're gonna want to do that. So let's do the 650 is the one with the most annoying shrill.
With the tape on there, it will be a little more difficult to put the stock tube on. It's
Yeah,
not terrible,
shoot.
but
I don't know if we're gonna be able to get this thing on
you
here.
could try the 765 one. That might be a little better.
Yeah, that one's just so tight. I need a battery. I don't like this 650. It's just. That's 87.5, 88 dB, and it's just shrill. It's just like this. This is why I have the 530 at my house, or the 580. I think the 580. Let me just see if I'm not making that up. The 580 has always been my favorite. Now I think the 580 is being replaced by the 615.
I'm surprised they make so many.
Well, some are old. They only make 3, right? And so they change generation when they make a modification to it. Let's see if I'm gonna make myself a liar here. Yeah. So that's a dB or a dB and a half, but it doesn't have that shrillness that the 650 has. So let's put this on the 650. So it was 88. This is going to be a ear buster here. So 88 to 90 dB. So a pretty remarkable difference on the 530. So if people have the 530s, you're going to notice a much bigger difference. The 650 is pretty similar. Yeah. I end up ripping the face off of this thing. I find that having these, like I've never put the regular tube back on. I just leave this on to blow the driveway and everything.
Yeah.
You know. I also understand, because I do this all the time too, when you get something new, you're analyzing. Whereas when you get something old, you just forget. Like when I get a new car, you're analyzing every scratch, or every squeak, every, you know, oh, I don't think this thing's driving straight. I mean, I do the exact same thing. So it does set in a little panic that I bought something, I waited, forget the money. I bought something I waited a long time for, so I can totally relate to this. And then you freak out. I do this, and I can freak out a lot. So from 86 to 88. So you got about a 2 dB increase on most of them. The 580, we had a 6 dB increase, so, or 530, sorry. So when you do the little guy, you know, the little guy has a pretty remarkable jump in output. But again, I think the 580 is the, you know, if we're providing some value to you here, if you're gonna buy one of them, you don't have one, this is it, this is the combo. I think you want the 5 amp hour battery because you can do a whole car and have time to spare. So a couple of 5 amp hour batteries and the 580 machine. This is my favorite combo. I just bought a 615, so I'll have that in a couple of, I think it'll be here tomorrow.
75 just
Yeah, well, since we're doing it. So this is the 765. Telling you, it's just as loud as the 650, but it doesn't have that shrill, that really.
I do like this one just because it's the most powerful, and I feel like you do notice the power when you turn the power off. And I wear noise canceling headphones, so I don't care.
Yeah. So about a half a dB.
Almost the same.
Yeah, half a dB difference. Yeah. So that's why, again, this remarkably louder. But still, I mean, I want ear protection with any of these tubes. So, all right, crisis averted. I thought it was the end of the world and we're gonna have to take them all back. It doesn't make sense. I mean, the thing, I think you want it. You know, put a little tape on there if you care about a little wiggle. And we'll continue to make modifications. If you want to send it back, frickin' send it back. We'll give your money back, and you know. But that's sort of better than I expected. You know, this is a product, an overseas made product that's first one of one. You know, won the first 1,000 run to see if we could actually make them and produce them and make them look good. So, yeah. I don't think it's a, what was the comment, that this is a flop?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. I'm not trying to frickin' sell you. I don't care if you buy it or not. I make like 10 bucks on these things. But I think it should exist. I want it for me, and so I don't really care about you. I want it for me, you know, and so we can provide the world a solution. Why the heck not? That's kind of the way I look at it. And then the money is just a result of I want it for me, and it would cost, you know, a couple $100,000 if I just got it for just me. So I think that the world needs this kind of stuff, and I really appreciate all of you that are willing to, you know, take a flyer. And then all these guys in here start freaking out, and they start trying to figure out how to fix it. So, yeah, put a little tape on there, and you know, if you want to, if you're on the fence, you know, wait till, you know, next version, whatever, version 2, 3, 4, 5. Who knows what else we'll modify on it. So, anyway, thanks for the support. We don't have any in stock. I think there's 500 more in, you know, in the air. You know, so that should satisfy all of our people that have been waiting, or most of them. And there may be like maybe 100 or so. So if you put your order and you got a chance, but very unlikely that it'll be, you know, 6 weeks or so before the batch comes over from, you know, on the boat. So we'll hope to have these in stock, you know, I'm sure that people won't believe us here on this video, so there'll be you know, some people who wouldn't buy it for now, but you'll see. This will be great, just like Press All. It'll end up being great. Yep. So, yeah, we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.